Hi guys, I'm James from Reading FC Away Days and I'm back once again with a brand new video here for you guys. Now today we're going to go ahead and sit down and talk to you guys about what we realistically think Reading could do for this season. Now going into this season, it was really a mixed bag of what we thought Reading could go ahead and achieve. Going into last season, obviously we were top of the league for about half the year, and then we were in the playoffs for most of it, and we dropped out, had poor form for the second half of the season, and really fell off the ball to say the least. Now going into this year, we didn't really know what to expect. One of our best players had left in Michael Elise. We were coming into it knowing Yaku Mete was going to be injured for the most of the season. And you know, that takes away most of our goal scorers. After the first couple of weeks, Lucas Joao went out injured, and that took away 3 of our top goal contributors from last season. You know, it was always going to be difficult throughout this stretch of the season. You know, with your best players gone or left or injured, it's always going to be a difficult road. But looking at the road ahead and injury timetables and stuff like that, I really am interested to see what people think Reading could do for the rest of the season. So before I go ahead and give my thoughts, I really want you guys to interact with the video and put a comment down below. Tell me what you think Reading could do for the rest of the season. Just let me know how you think it's going to go, whether I'm being deluded or not, or whether or not Reading realistically have a chance of being that top half of the table / playoff push that I think we really can get into. So what I'm going to do in this video is just run through what I think Reading's starting 11 should be going forward once we get our injuries back, and also what I think Reading should do with the players that probably should be deadwood. So looking at Reading's December fixture list, it's safe to say that Reading might be able to go ahead and pick up a few points here. I really do think that it'll be a time where Reading will be able to get 3 wins out of 5 games. Now Reading have got to play Hull on the Saturday coming up. We've then got West Brom away on the following Saturday. The Saturday after that, Luton are coming to the Select Carl Easton Stadium. Reading are away to Peterborough on Boxing Day, and finally have a home game to finish out December against Fulham. Now I think we can get 3 wins out of 5 there. We're playing 3 bottom of the half table sides that haven't had point deductions throughout this season, and I really think this could be a couple of games where Reading could look to maybe upset a team here or there. Looking at the West Brom game, West Brom are winless in their last 4 games and actually have been struggling for goals themselves as well. Now I know Reading's defence hasn't been watertight this season, but it's safe to say that Luke Southwood in net has really been a shining light in Reading's injury hit season. Now, looking at the games, I think we should be able to beat Hull. Yeah, they've won 4 in a row, but I think it should be a game where we should win. I also think we should be able to pick up wins against Luton and also away at Peterborough. Surprisingly, Reading actually have the best away record outside of the top 6, and I think that's something that we'll be able to carry on throughout the season. Reading have a style of play where they're able to adapt. They can either play possession football, or with the addition of Andy Carroll, we can now play long, and it's something that really did suit Reading against Swansea. Playing it long, was able to get in behind Swansea. You know, it was a good win for Reading, really. And I feel like that's something that may be able to be continued. Looking at this whole game, I think something that really Reading should be looking at is to take the game by the scruff of the neck and make it dirty. Hull play a good style of football, and if Reading are able to make it dirty with the experience of Scott Dam, the experience of Danny Drinkwater and Andy Carroll, I feel like they'll be able to turn the game on its head and Hull won't really know what's hit them. But that's a specific game. I'm here to talk about what I think Reading could do for the rest of the season, and I spoke about how I would talk about what I think Reading's starting lineup should be for the season. Now, looking at it and looking at injuries, I think Reading should really be looking to avoid bringing Liam Moore back into the side. Now, I say this with the utmost respect, and I do think Liam Moore has been a quality servant for Reading throughout the years, but in my opinion, I think his time may be up. He may be the club captain, he may be one of the first names on the team sheet for Paunovic, but personally, I think Liam Moore should be gone. Looking at the stats, Reading have won the same amount of games without Liam Moore than they have with Liam Moore this season. Now, I know you could say, oh, look at this on paper, look at that on paper. But it's the fact that Liam Moore's performances haven't been too great either. He seemed to be at fault for the goal at Sheffield United for me, and it also was the case against Nottingham Forest. Those were games where Reading could have come away with 4 more points than what they did. You know, it was down to Liam Moore at the end of the day. Liam Moore tends to make individual mistakes. He may be a good leader, but in my opinion, it's the individual mistakes that cost him personally. Now, looking at the defence and how leaky it's kind of been and how reliant we've been on Luke Southwood in the last few weeks, I really think the addition of Tom Holmes coming into centre-back could help that. Now, I think Reading should be playing a back 5 personally. When we get the injury back of Tom McIntyre, I feel like McIntyre, Dan or Morrison and Holmes should be the back three for Reading, alongside wing backs of Barbara Rahman and Andy Yiadom, who going forward both can provide quality. Now, looking at the midfield is something that Reading have a lot of strength in depth with as well. Andy Rinomhota and Josh Laurent are two of the more stronger defensive midfielders in the league, and with the addition of Danny Drinkwater, the centre mid position really has been a strong place for Reading. Now, looking more attacking, we've got the likes of Ovie Ejaria and John Swift that could sit in that number 10 position just behind the two strikers, who I think should be either the rotation of Lucas João, Yakou Mete, George Puskas, Andy Carroll, Femi Aziz. There's many players that can play up front for Reading. And I think that's something that, again, shows strength in depth. Once we get these injuries back, it's something where Reading really do excel. They've got depth. While we haven't had it because of the amount of injuries we've had recently, we've got it when they're not there, when they are there. The striking department, we're missing at the moment Lucas João and Yakou Mete, who were the top two goal scorers for Reading this season. John Swift's been impeccable. Now imagine what could have happened if John Swift had Mete and João up front with him right now. We could be realistically looking at a top half team right now. But it's unfortunate because we have had them injuries, and it's something that we're going to have to put up with for now. Looking at the rest of the season, I think once we get these injuries back, it's going to be pretty smooth sailing for Reading. It's not a case of where we're going to dominate games. It's not a case where we're going to dominate the league, anything like that. But I feel like everything's going to be a lot more sweeter and a lot more easier to take as a Reading fan. I feel like recently a lot of people have questioned Veljko Paunovic, including myself, who thinks that his style of play is good, but at the same time it's his game management that costs him. Where we're winning, he will then decide to not make subs until the 80th minute, or if we're chasing a game, he won't make subs until really late on. It's something that I think Paunovic needs to work on, and as much as the fan knows best all the time, we don't. But I feel like in this case, sometimes with Paunovic, we kind of do. But that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I just wanted to talk about where I think Reading are at and what I think Reading should do going forward. Personally, I feel like Reading should be pushing for the playoffs. And I think that's what we should be doing going forward. Yeah, we've got an additional points deduction potentially coming, which may just absolutely blow this out of the water. But I really do think Reading going forward should be looking for a playoff place. When you've got teams like Coventry, who, don't get me wrong, are a fantastic footballing side. This season, Coventry have been class. But when you've got teams like Coventry pushing for playoff places, when you've got teams like Huddersfield, you've got teams like Stoke, who over the years have been dwelling, Reading should be a team that should be pushing for the playoffs, considering the players that we have and the quality that we have in the squad. I feel like it's something we can really do. But tell me what you guys think in the comment section below and how you think this season will really go halfway through the year. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I've been James, and we'll see you again in the next one. Thank you.